Peaceful pause after reclaiming his last life, Puss in Boots lives a quieter life in Del Mar with Kitty, Softpaws, and Perrito. They now help the town's folks, solving minor problems and rescuing lost cats, but Puss secretly misses the thrill of epic adventures. Kitty warns him that craving danger may cost him more than lives. Perrito, meanwhile, trains to become a hero pup. Things are calm until a strange blood-red eclipse appears in the sky. The crimson eclipse brings with it an eerie stillness across the land. Villagers whisper of an ancient legend, the Crimson Curse, a force tied to forgotten magic. When animals across the region begin acting wild and possessed, panic spreads. Puss and Kitty are summoned by the Queen of Faraway Kingdom. She reveals that magical creatures are vanishing and an evil sorceress named Lady Malafira has returned. Puss accepts the quest, sensing a chance to prove he's still a legendary hero. Into the Wildwood, the trio travels into the Wildwood forest, rumored to hold ancient magical energy. They encounter a tribe of mystical foxes who guard the balance between worlds. The Fox Elder reveals that the Crimson Eclipse weakens the barrier between life and legend. Lady Malafira seeks to drain the life force of all magical creatures to live forever. Perrito accidentally activates an old rune, unlocking a magical path to Malafira's realm. Puss vows to stop her, but must first find the Blade of Balance, the only weapon that can defeat her. Ghosts of the past to find the blade, Puss must return to the ruins of San Ricardo. There, he faces haunting visions of his past, betrayals, lost friends, and failures. Kitty encourages him to forgive himself and focus on the present. In a sunken vault beneath the cathedral, they recover the shattered Blade of Balance. But it must be reforged in dragonfire. And there's only one known dragon left, in the forbidden Eastern Peaks. The Whispering Peaks, the journey to the Eastern Peaks is perilous, with crumbling bridges and frost beasts. They meet a strange hermit, a former knight turned dragon whisperer named Sir Rowan. He agrees to help if they retrieve his honor stolen by a giant named Bramblegut. Puss fights Bramblegut atop a collapsing glacier and returns Rowan's broken crest. Impressed, Rowan calls forth the last dragon, Embarrass. Embarrass agrees to reforge the blade, but warns, a balance has a cost. Reforging destiny as the blade is reforged in Embarrass flame, a strange pulse shakes the mountain. Lady Malafira senses it and sends her cursed wolves to steal it. A nighttime ambush ensues. Kitty and Puss fight back to back while Perrito howls to signal Embarrass. The dragon incinerates the wolves but is injured in the process. With the blade now glowing silver and red, the trio makes haste for the shattered spire, Malafira's lair. Perrito starts hearing whispers only he can understand. Shadows and schemes inside the spire. Illusions cloud their path. Puss sees a life where he never lost any lives. Kitty is tempted with a vision of ruling all of Spain with no one to challenge her. Perrito sees himself as a god of dogs, adored and pampered. Adored and pampered. But he snaps out of it first, using his boundless heart to break the spell. Together they fight through wave after wave of shadow minions. At the top they face Malafira, regal, terrifying, and eerily familiar. Malafira's truth, Malafira reveals she was once a guardian of balance, until love turned her bitter and vengeful. She seeks immortality not out of greed, but to undo a great loss. Puss offers to reason with her, but she mocks him for clinging to a single life. "Oh, you'll sacrifice everything for love, like I once did," and she hisses. She unleashes a storm of crimson energy, and the blade is knocked from Puss' hands. Kitty is trapped in a crystal prison. Rise of the Undone using her dark magic, Malafira resurrects enemies from Puss' past, including the wolf. But this wolf is hollow, a shadow of the death he once represented. Puss fights desperately, heart-pounding, memories of his last duel haunting him. With a roar, Embarrass crashes through the spire ceiling, blasting Malafira with flame. Perrito finds the blade and tosses it to Puss mid-air. He strikes down the Shadow Wolf and regains confidence. Battle for balance, a massive battle erupts, dragons, sorceress, magical beasts, and cursed minions clashing. Perrito leads a pack of freed creatures against Malafira's beasts. Kitty, freed by a blast from Embarrass, takes on Malafira in a fierce sword fight. Puss leaps into the fray, the Blade of Balance glowing with every strike. He delivers the final blow, shattering her staff and ending the Crimson Eclipse. As Malafira fades, she whispers, "Beware the silence after victory." A new dawn, the sky clears. The eclipse is gone, and magic stabilizes across the world. Embarrassed returns to her lair, declaring the balance restored. Puss and Kitty kiss under the rising sun. The first time Puss doesn't fear tomorrow. Perrito is hailed as a hero and declared a protector pup of Panlandia. The trio returns home to cheers and celebration. But a mysterious figure watches from the cliffs. A life reconsidered Puss contemplates what a single life truly means. He visits his old bootmaker, giving away his golden boots to a poor child. Kitty opens a school for orphans to teach swordplay and street smarts. Perrito writes an illustrated storybook called 3 Tails and a Blade. Rumors spread of a new hero rising in the north, one inspired by Puss himself. Puss smiles, knowing legend now walks in many paws. Return of the Crimson Spark deep underground, a shard of Malafira's broken staff glows. A cloaked stranger retrieves it, whispering ancient words. A red spark ignites again. Balance may yet tip once more. Elsewhere, animals begin hearing the whispers Perrito once heard. Is it the voice of balance, or something darker? A new prophecy is born. When cats forget, the curse returns. Call of the Forgotten Blade, an old swordsmith visits Puss with a warning. The Blade of Balance is not meant to stay in the world too long. Puss hides it in the Valley of Echoes, guarded by fox spirits, but shadowy forces begin searching for it. A new gang of bandits called the Crimson Talons threatens the kingdom. Puss reluctantly straps his sword back on. Adventure, it seems, never truly ends. Perrito's path, Perrito begins sensing magical shifts in nature. He is chosen by the fox spirits to be a balance seeker. Kitty worries for him but supports his choice. They travel together to remote lands to study harmony and chaos. Perrito begins mastering healing magic through kindness, but something stirs within him, a legacy older than Puss. The blade calls back. The Blade of Balance begins humming in its resting place. Dreams plague Puss of fire, loss, and a dark feline figure wielding his own version of the blade. The new threat is not a witch, but a dark reflection, a cursed version of Puss from another realm. He calls himself El Gato Oscuro. He plans to reclaim all magical relics and rewrite every legend. The race begins anew. The legend multiplies. El Gato Oscuro opens rifts between fables, pulling in other legends. Fairy tale villains begin reappearing in twisted forms. Puss, Kitty, and Perrito team up with allies from Shrek's world and beyond. The multiverse of fairy tales teeters on collapse. Old rivalries are reignited, new alliances form. The final battle is on the horizon. Clash of the Paws, Puss faces El Gato Oscuro atop the floating Isle of Legends. Every strike sends shockwaves through stories themselves. Kitty and Perrito battle shadow versions of themselves. At the edge of defeat, Puss lets go of pride and wins through humility. The cursed blade shatters. The legends begin mending. Balance is restored once more. Whoa. Tales of the future with fairy tale realms now healed. Puss is offered a place as a guardian of legends. He declines, choosing life, love, and laughter with Kitty and Perrito. Perrito opens a school for young mythic animals. Kitty trains future protectors of the balance. And Puss writes his own story finally. But the final page reads, a to be continued. Post-credit scene in a dusty library of lost tales. A child opens a forgotten book. It shows a paw print glowing red and a title. A tale's yet to be told. A child looks up, revealing sly cat-like eyes. The screen fades to black. Then a whisper, a legends never retire. Roll credit.